Have you ever really thought about how every single part of a living thing, from the tip of your own finger to the deepest root of a giant tree, gets exactly what it needs right when it needs it? It's all thanks to some of the most amazing delivery services in the entire universe. So today, let's explore these incredible biological logistics networks. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. We're talking about over 30 trillion individual living cells that make up you. Every single one of them needs oxygen, it needs nutrients, and it needs a way to get rid of its trash. How is that even possible without just complete chaos? Well, the answer is a mind-blowing internal superhighway. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the basic delivery problem itself. Then we'll dive into the high-speed system in animals, and of course, the powerhouse engine that drives it all. After that, we're going to switch gears completely and look at the silent, elegant plumbing inside plants before finally putting them side by side to see how they stack up. Okay, so first things first, why can't our cells just get what they need from the outside world directly? Well, if you're a single-celled organism floating around, that works just fine. But for big, complex life like us, a cell deep inside your body is, relatively speaking, miles away from your last meal or your next breath of air. And this, right here, is the crucial point. In order to get bigger and more complex, life had to solve this massive logistical challenge. It had to evolve these dedicated internal transport systems, basically plumbing, to connect every single cell to the outside world. And when it comes to animals, that plumbing is an absolute marvel. We're talking about a high-pressure, high-speed network of vessels carrying a very, very special delivery fluid, our blood. You've probably heard blood called the river of life, and honestly, it's the perfect description. It really is this liquid transport medium that flows everywhere, carrying this complex cocktail of specialized goodies to every corner of your body. So what's actually packed inside this biological delivery truck? If we could zoom way, way in, we'd see it's not just some simple liquid. No, it's packed with all different kinds of workers, and each one has a very specific and very important job to do. You know, you might actually be surprised to learn what blood is mostly made of. A little over half of it is the liquid part, called plasma. Almost all of the rest is made up of red blood cells, with just this tiny fraction left over for other critical components. And every single part is absolutely vital. The red blood cells, they're your oxygen couriers, using a special protein called hemoglobin to snatch up oxygen in the lungs and drop it off wherever it's needed. White blood cells are your immune system security force. Platelets are the emergency repair crew, plugging up any leaks. And the plasma, well, it carries everything else: sugars, hormones, carbon dioxide, and waste. It's an unbelievably efficient system. Of course, all this precious cargo needs roads to travel on, and our system uses three main types. You've got arteries, which are like the major highways, veins, which are the return roads, and capillaries, these tiny, tiny local streets where the actual deliveries take place. And their structure is just perfectly suited to their function. Arteries have these thick, strong, elastic walls because they have to withstand the massive, high-pressure blast of blood coming straight from the heart. Veins, on the other hand, deal with much lower pressure, so they have thinner walls and these brilliant little one-way valves to make sure blood doesn't flow backward on its journey home. But what in the world powers this entire high-pressure superhighway? The answer is one of the most incredible engines ever devised, the heart. It's a muscular pump that works nonstop, every second of every day for your entire life. The real genius of the heart lies in its four-chamber design and its valves. The chambers contract in this perfectly coordinated rhythm, thump-thump, thump-thump, while the valves slam shut, making absolutely sure that blood only flows in one direction. It's this powerful structure that generates all the pressure needed to push blood all the way to your toes and back again. Now, for mammals like us, it's actually a double system. Blood gets pumped to the lungs to pick up oxygen, then it comes back to the heart for another powerful push before it goes out to the rest of the body. And that second push, that's the secret sauce. It supercharges the pressure, allowing for that rapid, high-volume oxygen delivery we need to fuel our active, energy-hungry lifestyles. And here's where it gets really real. Because the heart is a constantly working muscle, it needs its own dedicated fuel supply through what are called the coronary arteries. If these get blocked, it can cause a heart attack. A really cool modern medical solution is something called a stent. It's a tiny mesh tube that's inserted to prop the artery open and get that vital blood flowing again. Okay, so that's the animal system. It's fast, it's high pressure, and it's powered by a muscular pump. But plants? Plants solve the exact same delivery problem in a completely different, and you could even argue a more elegant way. Theirs is a silent system, powered entirely by the sun. Plants basically have two separate sets of pipes. You've got the xylem, which is a network of dead, hollow tubes that transports water and minerals up from the roots. And then you have the phloem, which is a network of living cells that transport sugars, the food they make during photosynthesis, from the leaves to wherever else it's needed in the plant. So, if there's no heart, what's the engine? What's the pump? Well, the answer is almost unbelievably simple. It all starts with water evaporating from tiny little pores on the surface of leaves. These pores are called stomata. This process of water loss has a name. It's called transpiration. And get this, it's not just some accidental side effect. It is the fundamental driving force for the entire water transport system in a plant. That's the engine right there. That probably sounds a bit weird, right? I mean, how can losing water from the top of a 100-foot-tall tree create a force that's strong enough to pull more water all the way up from the ground? The magic lies in the unique properties of water itself. Water molecules are kind of sticky. They like to cling to each other. So as one molecule evaporates from a leaf, it actually tugs the next one in the chain up just a little bit. This pull travels all the way down the tube, molecule by molecule, creating a continuous column of water. We call it the transpiration stream that gets pulled up from the roots. It's all powered by the sun's energy. It's a silent, passive, and totally brilliant pump. So there we have it. Two radically different solutions to the exact same problem. How do you supply every single cell in a large organism with the resources it needs to stay alive? The contrast is just fascinating when you put them side by side. Animals use an active, high-pressure pump, the heart, which burns a ton of energy to move blood around. Plants, on the other hand, use a passive, low-pressure pull, basically outsourcing all the hard work to the sun. Two brilliantly different strategies, each one tailored perfectly for two very different ways of life. So the takeaway here is that life is the ultimate engineer, solving these incredibly complex problems with just stunningly effective solutions. The next time you feel your own pulse, or even just look at a simple leaf on a tree, remember that you're witnessing a delivery system that's been perfected over millions of years. It really makes you wonder, what other amazing biological engineering is hiding all around us, in plain sight?